Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel once again. So in today's video we are going to learn how we can draw a simple tree with few simple steps. Even if you are a beginner, you can draw it easily. In my previous video I have explained in detail about sketching methods like hatching, cross hatching, stippling and contouring. I have shared a link into my description section, so if you want you can refer to that video to learn everything about sketching in detail. Now let's start with the today's video. So we need to create a basic drawing or guideline for a tree. So you can start with the tree trunk. So keep the tree trunk as you want. You can keep it tilted towards left, right, having different perspective in it, but I'm keeping it simple and straight. And then you can start dividing into multiple sub branches. So basically you can create a Y kind of shape and then divide that Y into multiple sub Y kind of shape to create multiple sub branches. Don't have to copy mine, you can create your own version of these tree. So basically any kind of shape, any kind of tree trunk, multiple tree trunks, multiple sub branches, it's totally fine, totally up to you how you like to draw. So I have drawn something like this, quite simple. Now you need to create branches having multiple leaves in it. So I'm creating a round kind of structure to divide my tree area having multiple sub branches in it, wherein we are going to draw our leaves. So I'm creating branches like this. You can keep smaller and so many sub branches, or you can keep bigger and few. So I don't want to keep too many because I want to expedite the process so that we can utilize our time wisely. So I'm keeping few branches towards left, right and towards upward direction. You can keep the branches little bigger and smaller, totally fine, but divide something like this. Now you can keep a ball pen or you can use needle pen as well. It's totally fine to use ball pen as well to start with, and then start creating those branches with the help of pen and start creating the edges of the branches. So for the edges of the branches, I'm not creating any smooth line or any smooth curves. I'm creating some random pattern into it. So I'm just moving my pen randomly to create some random pattern into it so that we can see our branches, we can see our sections of leaves clearly. So something like this I have drawn as a part of basic guideline. Now you can trace whatever you can see as a branch. You can also make few smaller sub branches in the middle, like behind sub branches or behind subsection. So something like this you can do. In this particular tree we are making it bushier, full of leaves like mango tree or oak tree. Now think about from where light is coming. So for example purpose I'm keeping the light coming from the left side, so that the right side area of the tree mostly should be in the dark shade. So I'm keeping the lower section little darker and keeping the light area little lighter. So based on the darkness and lightness of the sections, you can add more shades into it. So I have traced the branches. Now wherever you need dark shade, start hatching those area. Hatching means creating parallel lines side by side close to each other. The more closer line you will create, the greater shade you will get. So accordingly you can create. You can start directly with the leaf, but creating this hatching process expedite the process of drawing. I like to hatch those area wherein I need little darker shade. You can also cover the tree trunk as well if you want to, because keeping the tree trunk little hidden is something we needed. So that is something you can do. So I have hatched the lower section of each and every section that we have, so that we can get little darker shade around it. If you have a reference photo, you can follow that reference photo wherein you are seeing the dark shade. You can hatch that particular area. Right now I don't have any reference photo with me, so I'm assuming these are the area wherein I need little dark shade. So I have hatched those area. I have created parallel lines around it. Now start creating random pattern like we have created edges, and start adding these random pattern into your section. I'm going to create these random pattern which replicates the leaf in our case throughout the area. Doesn't matter whether we have negative space or we have hatching space around it, but I want to create these random pattern throughout. So I'm going to show you in these two sections. Rest you are going to repeat the same thing throughout. You can take all your time to do it. I'm showing you all these things in a little speed way, but you can take your time to make these things. Now you can see the shades clearly. The area where we have done the hatching process having more darker shade as compared to the other area. So basically the top side having little lighter shade and the other area having dark shade. Now I want to keep the corner of the branches or the area which is near to the branches at the lower section having more dark shade into it. So I'm cross hatching those area. So cross hatching means creating cross line around the area wherein you have created parallel lines. So I'm creating some cross line wherein I need little darker shade as compared to the hatching area. So now you can see we can clearly see three different shades wherein lighter shade, darker shade and little more darker shade into it. You can cover the tree branches as well while doing all these processes, and create some random pattern here and there with the help of hatching process, cross hatching process, and then you can also do some random pattern to add more dark shade into it. These random pattern is important to get some extra shade because these are the leaf. So hatching and cross hatching and contouring does not give you that effect like you can get effect from these random patterns. So that's why I'm adding these random pattern to get more shades into it. And likewise, when you repeat the same thing more and more to get some extra shade into your drawing, you will get more depth into your drawing. So more shade means more hatching needed, more cross hatching needed, more random pattern needed for that particular area. So I'm going likewise to create different shades into my tree. As light is coming from the left side, so I'm keeping those area intact, keeping those area a little lighter. Rest area I want little more shade into that, so I'm trying to hatch those area. I'm trying to do some cross hatching into those area, and you can repeat the same thing again and again and again to get more darker shade into the area where you want. Likewise, in these corners I need little more darker shade, so I'm going again and again with some parallel lines into it and creating more dark shade around that particular area. So it's totally up to you when you want to end this process. Likewise, you can repeat number of time creating all these structure, and you can keep the outer edges little more visible, so I'm going through that particular area again so that we can see the sections clearly. So something like this you can do. Make sure you don't have smooth edge, so try to keep the edges little bit in a wavy pattern. Then you can do the same thing for the tree trunk. So create some parallel lines first for the tree trunk. You can keep it like this also, it's fine, or else you can add some extra shade into it, creating some curved lines like this at one side of the tree. Because light is coming from the right side, so I want to keep the tree trunk area a little darker on the right side itself. So I'm creating some curved line, and then I'm cross hatching the left area to get some dark shade into my tree trunk. Now as you can see, we are able to see the trunks inside our leaf branches as well, but not that much visible, so that is something you can do. And you can do the same thing for the tree trunk as well. You can create some extra branches if you want, at any point of time whenever you feel like to add, and then you can keep repeating the same thing what we have done. So basically it's very simple to draw. You just need a basic structure of a tree, then start creating more shades into it, having different sketching method like hatching, cross hatching, stippling, contouring, whatever you know, whatever is comfortable with you. You can create random pattern when it comes to leaf, and likewise you can draw your tree. It's not necessary to draw basic structure like I have done. You can create any kind of tree whatever you like. Once done with the drawing, you can keep the things as is, or else you can do some extra detailing into the lower section to create ground and little bit of grass here and there. So something like this you can do, and we are done with the drawing. But if you want, you can add some watercolor into it to make it more vibrant. Like in this one, this is the rough work I was doing, and then I have added some more watercolor into it to get some extra effect into it. So it's totally depend on you what you like to do. If you want only drawing, you can keep it like this. If you want to add some extra effect into it, you can use watercolor or any medium to get some extra shades into the tree. I'm adding little bit of blue color around the dark shade, and you can add little bit of green color around it. I'm using very light shade of blue and green. Basically when you draw something with the help of pen and when you add watercolor into it, we call it line and wash technique. So you can use this technique as well, or you can keep your drawing simple. You can add brown color into tree branches, and you can do some extra detailing. In fact, you can add some background like sky and other thing with the help of watercolor. But I want to show you how we can draw a tree, that's why I'm keeping it as is. Adding watercolor is optional. And we are done with today's video. Hope you have liked this video. Hope this video is helpful for you guys. Please do let me know if you guys have any feedback for me, and thank you so much for all your love and support, and thank you so much for watching my videos. See you guys in the next video.